Hey everybody, it's your bro Luke Feast, back at you with another video. Today, I'm gonna animate Aang and Zuko from Avatar the Last Airbender. I'm gonna get into the drawing, the coloring, the voicing, and the keyframing. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to get onto the first part of this animation tutorial. I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw Avatar the Last Airbender. I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to draw Aang and Zuko. And if you haven't seen the show, maybe watch the show first because I'm going to maybe have some spoiler ideas. Let's do this. Oh yeah, and I have a light table right here. So if I turn this light on underneath, that way we can see the layers underneath when we put layers over it. I'm gonna start with the circle right here. Maybe I'm just gonna draw his head. We're gonna start with circles. Circles are a good way to figure out how everything will lay out, especially if you don't know how it's gonna look and if you haven't drawn it a lot. Circles are a great way to figure it out. He has a pretty pointy chin and a straight kind of long face. And then I'm gonna draw the side of his head, and that's like his cheek right there. And then his face caves in, and I feel like we can go like that. I'm gonna erase this part of the circle, and kind of out these outer layers. So now that's kind of like the outline of his head. It doesn't look like much right now, but it will. It looks like a guitar pick. His cheek is kind of indented right here. I'm gonna draw his ears. His ears go like, whoa! And then they go up like that. I feel like it's too big. So this is his head facing forward. I'm gonna add another ear, and then it can go pointy like that. That ear's a little too big. I'm gonna erase this outer area. I'm gonna draw his eyes. That's what I need. I'm gonna draw the middle of his face. I'm gonna just draw a dot right there. I heard in an art class, if you have these two eyes right here, one eye in the middle would be the distance of how far apart these two eyes are. I heard that somewhere. So I'm just gonna draw like a circle right. I'm just gonna draw another circle right here. I don't like that eye. Like, it needs to be curved in a certain way. I'm not gonna draw the pupils, obviously, because those are gonna be in a different layer. I think I'm just gonna go like that. He has pretty big eyes. I'm gonna erase this circle. I'm gonna draw a little line under this. I think I'm gonna erase this eye too, because I don't like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna draw like these little lines underneath like this. And make it like those, and then, yeah. I'm just gonna do that. Now I'm gonna draw his nose. Like that. And his arrow, his legendary arrow. God, I've been spending a lot of time on this one frame. Actually, that does look pretty good. Yeah, I do like that. I'm gonna draw the indents in his ears. It looks like they go like, and another bump right here. So now that is his face. That looks actually pretty badass. Now I'm gonna add another layer. So now we can kind of see what's under it. There's a paper on top of it. So there's a light shining through it, and we can draw over that paper, knowing what's underneath. I'm just gonna draw, they have pretty big eyes. Maybe like a little circle right here for his pupil. I think they need to be bigger like that. So those will be his pupils, and we can figure it out later. Now, his eyebrows kind of go like that. And then we can add his mouth movements. He has like that kind of face, and we'll add his mouth movements later. Now I'm gonna take this layer off and save it for later. So now his head can turn slightly. I'm gonna start with the eyes. Eyes can be slightly to the side, like right there. Maybe his nose kind of curves this way now. We can just trace over this. It's pretty round and symmetrical, so we don't have to worry about changing any hair details because he's bald. And I'm not gonna draw the neck. I'm gonna draw that over the body because I kind of have an idea for that. So now we have his head turning. And then, yeah, I'm gonna draw the arrow, don't worry, I won't forget. So I'm gonna start with his neck. And we can place the neck right here. He has a pretty skinny neck. He's wearing this certain turtleneck, I guess. You can call it a turtleneck. And then we can add his body, but I'm not gonna draw his arm. I'm just gonna go like, and then he has another shirt over that, under that. He has a shirt under that. The amount of detail in their clothes is crazy. How did Nickelodeon really pull this show off? Like, they made a good show. Yeah, so that's his belt, that's his torso, and then his legs are over that. That'll work, yeah. Now we can place this over. Maybe his mouth opens up a little. We can go with the A vowel. We can add his teeth right here, so that's the E vowel. Now, I'm gonna draw Zuko. Now, I'm gonna animate Zuko. This is gonna be complicated. I'm gonna go start with the circle again. Aang was so much easier. I'm gonna start with the circle. Actually, I need to redraw the circle. He has hair that goes up to here, and it's kind of high, so I don't like that. Let's do that again, a little bit lower, so I have room to draw the hair. So I'm just gonna draw a circle again. There, that should, no, that's a little weird. Circle! Now I'm gonna draw, he has like a pointy chin that goes down. Like his neck is really long, but not like Aang's. It goes more like a longer, narrower face. This doesn't make sense yet, but it will. I'm gonna erase this part right here. I'm gonna draw the eye, yeah, the eyes. So right here is the center of his face, but his eyes kind of go like that. And now his nose, he has like, just like a little indent right here, like that. I'm just gonna do that. And now his scar. Actually, no, I'm gonna draw his hair first. No, I'm gonna draw his scar first. From here, above his eye right there. And now, I'm gonna draw his hair, his long hair. You can just draw jags, and then kind of curves. Yeah, this is looking good actually. Keeps going down, he has long hair. Not in the first season. The first season he has that little thingy. And now he looks like it's behind his head, but we need to draw it more like in front of his head. So we're gonna go, I want his hair to go like that. And then his hair kind of falls down there. We can erase this scalp. This is actually looking really good. We can take out this part of the scar. And his eyes, he has like brown eyes, but we'll do that in the coloring. He's like these really straight eyebrows. I'm gonna draw his torso. I'm just gonna figure out where his neck will be. His neck is kind of goes like that. Where his chest is, the rib cages are right here. His shoulder blades can go down here. I'm just gonna have it stop right here. And he has these like this robe that kind of goes, and this robe goes over that robe. But it goes way down like that. And he has a shirt that kind of goes over this. Now, I'm gonna get on to the inking. Now, I'm gonna get on to the inking. Usually for my own animation, I use a fat pen like this to ink. For this animation, they have a lot more detail into their animation. So I'm gonna use a skinnier pen. This one inks smaller so I can add more detail. I'm just gonna speed roll me inking. Now, I'm gonna get onto the coloring. I'm using a software called Adobe Illustrator. And just make a blank document, yada yada. And if you click Ctrl Shift D, it will show like a transparent background. I'm gonna go File, Open. These are the drawings we made, and I'm gonna import them. And now, we can't draw on it. If we wanna draw or color it, we can't do any of that. We have to go to Window, and you scroll down to Image Trace. You click that, and I like to put it over here with my libraries. Once you click on the object you want to manipulate, you go up here to presets, and where it says default, you click that. I like to click black and white logo when I ink it with pen, and then you still can't manipulate it. You have to go to object, expand, okay. And now it's manipulatable. We can take out the background. Now I'm going to start coloring it. I'm going to go to libraries. These are all the colors I have saved. If you want to like add colors, you can like click this color palette. There's so many different colors you can choose. And you can just click OK, for example, and add that color. Anyways, I'm gonna color his skin tone. I think I'm gonna give him like a light. It needs to be brighter. It needs to be like a light. And I think that would work. I'm just gonna go with that. I think that's the perfect color. I'm gonna select just his head, copy and paste that into this new blank document, and click File, export, obviously, export as. And when you export it, make sure it's a PNG. That way the background is transparent. I'm gonna go image trace again, default, black and white, okay. He has like a light skin tone. Yeah, that's a good color. It's kind of like a white. His scar's kind of purple, like that maybe. Yeah, it's like an orangey purple kind of thing. We can add his dark hair. Well, now I'm gonna get on to the voice acting. Now, I'm gonna get on to the voice acting. Hey Zuko, do you wanna go penguin sledding? Hey Zuko, do you wanna go penguin sledding? Hey Zuko, do you wanna go penguin sledding? We don't have time. We need to practice our firebending. We don't have time. We need to practice our firebending. But I'm tired. Not too tired to go penguin sledding. Now, I'm gonna get on to the keyframing. Now, I'm gonna get on to the keyframing. I'm gonna click Create New. I'm using Adobe Animate. You can make it HD, 4K, and then you can change the frame rate right here, whether it's 15 frames per second or 30. And make sure it's action script and not that one. Action script, because then it lets you add scenes and gives you more to work with. And then it gives you this blank canvas. This is what you animate on. This is the timeline, which you can use to figure out where and what goes when. You can add all your frames into this library panel. I'm gonna make a new folder for Aang and for, so this is the Zuko drawings we made. We can just draw those into drag those into the Zuko folder. And now we got all the images in, we can start adding time to the keyframe. So right now there's just one keyframe. I'm going to right click this insert keyframe button, which is in between these arrows. I'm going to add a frame and I can just drag it out like this. And now when you want to add audio, we take the AIF file, and it doesn't accept MP3 files, so keep that in mind. You can just drag it into the canvas and it goes into your timeline. And if you do not hear it, like you're like, oh no, it's not working, I don't hear anything playing. Only when I click the play button. If you want to scrub and be able to hear it while you're scrubbing, go to sync under this frame tab. There's this sync button, and if you click stream, then you can like, or maybe I'll have them in the forest. I don't really care. I think I'm gonna add Aang. So I drew those. I don't really like that. I'm gonna zoom in. I might change the background because it I feel like it would work better with a different kind of background that blends well with his actual character. So we got his torso. Yeah, I think that looks better. We can add his head and he looks like that. We can just drag that in right there. I'm gonna zoom in. Sometimes if you want to like use the asset warp tool but the image is too big, I can make it smaller, but this is a cool tool you can use, but it only works when the image is small enough. Now it's smaller, and if we click W, we can click the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. Now we can bend it, but it only works when it's a good size. I'm gonna copy and paste the arm. And we can just bend it the way we want. I'm gonna have his arm like that. I'm gonna shrink his arm down. And now we can add a layer. So we got the basic outline for his body. So these are his pupils. We can just drag them in. And now I'm gonna add Zuko. And maybe he's closer, so, I mean, he's taller as a character, so I'm gonna bring him forward. I'm just gonna make it as if he's closer to us, perspectively. Maybe he's like right there, closer to us. We can add his head. Oh, I'm proud of that, it looks really cool. Maybe his arm's right here, we can W that. I'm gonna flip this arm, transform, flip horizontal, because I'm a cheap ass and use the same arm for the same. Now I'm gonna add his pupils on a different layer again. He's looking that, maybe he's looking down a little bit. So now we got that, and all of the characters outlined. Now, actually, I don't always do this, but this is sometimes I like to add shadows. And right here are filters. You can add shadows, drop shadow. I'm just gonna give him like a simple shadow. Now that's not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna make it a little transparent. We can add some blur to it to make it a softer shadow. And we can also add shading to their face. And then we can add another layer and click maybe be level kind of adds lighting to their face. I just figured this out myself. I don't know if I just noticed it kind of gives a certain light to their face. Command save. Oh, make sure to save it so you don't lose it. Now we can add the keyframes. So we can zoom in, and this is Aang's line. So we can just go add some keyframes. I'm gonna zoom into the timeline. Maybe his head turns a little right here. We can add a keyframe. And if you wanna see what's behind it, there's this onion layer. So if you take this frame out, we can see what was behind it. So I'm just gonna drag in the head again, make it the same size, and his head turns a little bit. And then we can add a layer for his pupils. I'm gonna take out the mouth because we are gonna add mouth movements over that anyways. Oh yeah, his eyebrows. I forgot his eyebrows. I forgot both their eyebrows. And maybe his arm moves a little bit. His eyebrows lift up a little right here. Like he's excited because he wants to go penguin sledding. And maybe his head moves back and his pupils move back with his head. Now I'm gonna add blinking. I did add some blinking. Right here, we can add a keyframe for his eyes. And then we can add a keyframe for him completely blinking. And he opens his eyes again. Maybe his arm moves a little bit. So we can add a keyframe for his arm moving. Add another keyframe for his arm moving a little more. Now we can add mouth movements. So I drew all the vowels he says. We can just paste them over every vowel he says in the animation. I'm gonna zoom into the timeline. Maybe he opens his mouth a little bit. And take the M vowel out. We can add an eh sound. The A vowel, the E vowel, E vowel. Now, after drawing it, coloring it, voicing it, and animating it, this is what I came up with. I hope you enjoy it. Hey Zuko, do you want to go penguin sledding? We don't have time. We need to practice our firebending. But I'm tired. Not too tired to go penguin sledding. Thank you for watching that video. We have animation tutorials, media tutorials, tunes, films, and music. So stay tuned and have a great day.
These tunes.